Hey guys, so I thought we would sit down. I know I did my life update for y'all, and so I kind of wanted to follow up with that and it not be an update, but kind of what my life is going to look like for the next 6 months. Because a lot of things are going to be changing around here. And so I thought we would talk about that. Obviously, not everything may happen or stick, you have to leave some wiggle room. But when I sit down and think, what does my life look like for the next 6 months? What am I going to be doing come February, January? So really, this video is more for my goals for the future and what my life's actually going to look like as a single parent pretty much starting in January. So let's go ahead and jump in. So for right now, probably for the next 2 or 3 months, I am going to go to work for about 30 hours a week. That's just kind of how they're starting me out at this other vet clinic. And my college classes, last time I checked, starts mid/end January. So it's not long at all. It's like, what, a month and a half away, 2 months away. So I'm super excited about that. If there is some kind of time frame change on that, I will let y'all know. I am going to be enrolled in school full-time. I have to do full-time to be able to get the student loans, and I know the further along I get in school, I am going to have to drop down somewhat in work, and come the end of it, about the last year of schooling, I'm not going to be able to work at all, most likely, maybe 1 day a week, because I'm going to have to do like 9 to 10 months, if not a year, of clinicals, depending on which route I take. So that's kind of the timeline. I was told after the first 3 months they'll move me up to 40 hours. But honestly, with me going back to school, I don't know if I'll be able to balance full-time working, which 40 hours is only 4 days a week in a vet setting. So it still allows me 3 days a week, but I honestly just don't know if 3 days a week is enough, because I want to be able to balance work. I want to be able to balance school. I want to be able to balance being a mom and all of those things. And so while I would love to say I can work 40 hours, go to school full-time, and be a mom, I don't know at this point. I would at least like to be able to work 30 hours a week, which is only working 3 days a week. So I feel like, in my opinion, I'll be better off working the 3 days a week for the 30 hours compared to the schooling full-time. I just think that's going to be a better route for me, but I am open to trying the 40 hours a week. But that is kind of what I'm sitting on right now, and like I said, time will tell on that. Mason, I haven't fully decided as to what's gonna happen for Mason. So what I mean by that is, obviously Mason goes to daycare while I work, but daycare is 45 minutes away from my house. It's on the way to work every morning. And so for Mason and my schoolwork, on the days that I will be doing that all day long, I haven't decided if I'm gonna drive him to daycare, come all the way back home, work for like 8 hours, and then go and get him, or if I'll keep him at home, and I just don't think that's possible. I just think my mind needs to be focused on that one thing. Or it could be great to bring him to daycare 2 days a week for me to go do schoolwork. And obviously he still would go while I'm working. So he'd be going a full week like normal. And since I'm already in town dropping him off at daycare, I can go into, say, a coffee shop or somewhere like that and sit down to do work. I don't know if my social anxiety will allow me to do that. I would love to be able to do that. So maybe that's something I can work on, being able just to be able to get out. Even just sitting in a coffee shop. If I can work the courage up just to go into a restaurant and sit alone. I don't even have to have a coffee or something to eat. If I could just go in and sit alone. That has always been very odd for me. Like, can't do it. I get very uncomfortable. Maybe that'll be a goal for this year, is for me to finally be able to go into a restaurant or coffee shop and just sit there for 2 or 3 hours and do schoolwork. Maybe me going back to school, that'll help. Maybe I'll be able to accomplish that in my life, and maybe I'll be able to be more social with people my age. Who knows, because I am not social. Like I said, I have social anxiety, so maybe this will be like the opening door to that. Even if it's me bringing him to daycare, coming back home 2 days a week to do schoolwork, and 2 hours, 1 day a week, just go and sit in a coffee shop, get a hot chocolate or something, and sit there and do my work. And maybe it's just at a Target that has a Starbucks inside, and then I slowly work my way up to go sit in a McDonald's where it's super busy. I don't know, but I feel like I'm probably going to try and do a mix of those. If my social anxiety is too bad, that's just not going to happen. But I know there's other places I can go, like the library. There's just so many options. And so I feel like coming home 1 or 2 days a week and doing schoolwork for 8 hours would be great. But I feel like dropping Mason off at daycare and going and sitting in a coffee shop or a library once a week would be really good for me. Not just socially, but just to get out of the house and to see people and not be sitting here for 36, 48, 50, 60 hours a week at the house doing schoolwork, and on the weekends having the kids just sitting home. I just feel like being able to get out by myself 1 day a week will be really good for me. So another really big goal I have coming up that I would like to get started on is, and I did start on it earlier this year and I kind of fell off track and never got back on, is saving money as much as I can. I would like to hit a $10,000 goal in a year. I know that seems like a lot, but I really would love to be able to save that much. With me getting student loans, I don't plan to spend the student loans. Obviously, it's going to have to help me kind of make up for a little bit of the work that I'm going to be missing, like pay at work. But the majority of it, I would love to save up, because I know when I have a year of clinicals, I'm going to need a year worth of money to live on. And I know that may not seem crazy in a lot of people's situation, but in my situation, in 3 years, I may be with somebody. But who's to say I'm not? I don't want to give up on my dream. So if I'm going to save up the money to be able to afford that, to go to clinicals, I'm going to need to start pretty soon. And I mean, I'm going to be getting about $900 in student loans a month. I don't have to pay rent here, luckily. So I do have a little bit of wiggle room that I can do that. And another reason for that is, I have not told y'all this, but it has been eating me in the back of my mind for like 2 or 3 months now. I live so far away from work, from everything. And while I love living here, it's very spacious. I don't have to pay rent or any of that. The gas, let alone to go to work, is $100 a week for me because I'm driving an hour one way and an hour back. I mean, almost what I'm spending in gas a month is like half of rent somewhere, if not more than half of rent at certain places. So ideally, next year sometime, I would love to be able to move, whether it's get an apartment or a trailer that I can rent for time being, or a rent to own. Ideally, that is something that I do want to accomplish in 2025. I also next year want to do better at keeping my boutique stocked fully. I have been really struggling with that, and so I'm hoping next year I'll find some time, whether it's once a week, twice a month, once a month, to go thrifting or garage selling for the market, because that definitely brings in income for me and helps. I also in the next year want to focus on more when it related to shopping for my household and for my kids and I would really love to focus more on quantity over quality. I have found that has been just great this last 6 months that I have been doing that. I thrift for my kids' clothes a lot of times, but I've been really on the struggle bus with that as my boys are getting older. For some reason, you just can't find bigger boys' clothes as easy in thrift stores. And I don't mind buying brand new clothes for them. I can do it. But I do like to also thrift and then add a few new pieces in there. And same for me. But I really want to be mindful of how much of it I'm buying and what we're actually going to use, because I have found that having 10 to 12 pair of pants, 10 to 12 shirts, 10 to 12 pairs of pajamas is enough for my kids. I do that because I only wash clothes on the weekend. That may change with me being home more often, going to school, but that is how I've kind of done it, and I found that really works. Also, for bedding, we only have one set of sheets for each bed. So Mason's bed has 2 sets, just because I just bought a brand new pack and it came in a 2-pack. But Cooper has 1 set. I have 2 sets, but the other one actually needs to be donated because I just haven't gotten it to where it needs to go. But I just don't have the space for it, and I don't see the need for extra sets of sheets because we have blankets, tons of blankets. Say an accident happened during the night with one of my kids, I can just go throw a blanket over the bed and that's it. Or they end up piling up in bed with me anyway. So there's just honestly not the point in having multiple sets of sheets. I've found that it's just really nice, and I don't have to worry about trying to fold those dang fitted sheets. Also, for quantity over quality, I feel like it goes to multiple points in my life, but I do feel like there's a few categories that quantity over quality does not matter to me, just because it brings me and my children joy. And one of those things is movies. My kids have all DVDs. We do not have cable. I have Netflix on my phone. We don't have internet. So we do have a good assortment of DVDs, and I don't mind bringing more in, but I do frequently go through them, and if they don't watch them, I get rid of them. And another thing is makeup and nail polish. It's one of the things that brings me joy when I'm able to sit down and relax and do that. And I don't mind picking up things at the Dollar Tree to try out and see if I like them, because reviewing those products bring me a lot of joy. So those types of things, I don't mind having a little bit of extra, just because I do go through them regularly. And so they don't stay in my house forever. They're mostly consumable items, whether it's makeup, food to try out, DVDs that are rotating in and out of my house because they get scratched up. But just when it comes to clothing, like I'm gonna need a new purse soon because mine is getting very thin. Things like that you need to use for quite a while. I feel like I'd prefer to start spending a little bit more money on those things when I can, versus picking up a $4 bag at the thrift store that I'm not going to cherish and I'm going to use for 2 weeks and then get rid of it. Another thing for the next year is I would really love to find a few more things that bring me joy. I feel like I haven't quite figured that out yet. While I love crafting, I don't have a lot of the patience for it, but I have to be to do crafting for me, I have to be in the mood to do it. So it's not something that I can, oh, I want to relax a little bit and I'm going to do that. Reading, I do like reading, but again, I have to be in the mood for it. So I love to bake and cook, but I also have to be in the mood for that. I don't like to come home and cook. I like to do it when I have a few days off and I can relax. TV, I found that Netflix has been really nice for me. Just laying in the bed at night and watching an hour of a show that I really enjoy has brought me a lot of joy recently. Just keeps me kind of going and something to look forward to. So let me know in the comments down below what brings you joy, because I would definitely like to know so I can try some things out. Obviously, I love making YouTube videos. That is something I absolutely love. I could be bringing in a paycheck from YouTube, but I choose not to because I just love it. I don't want the money from it. It's just something that's very fun for me. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what brings you joy and things that you enjoy doing for yourself to bring you joy and to relax. So that way I can try it out and see if I find a few more things that bring me joy. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what some of your goals are for the next 6 months, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.